I will defer approval.
Would everyone like to defer approval?
While we're on this topic, I might as well just jump in. May 14th, regular town board meeting. Back on May 14th, 2014, this board elected to have a finalized agenda be completed and posted on the website Monday at 4 p.m. and also the preliminary agenda posted at the end of Friday. In the months since this resolution was passed, it has not been followed for the preliminary agenda as well as final agenda. Even if there are emergencies, the preliminary agenda should be posted. I have requested on numerous occasions, also others of the board have as well, that this resolution be followed. This failure to post the agenda in a timely manner discourages the public from participating in their town's business. Before every meeting, our supervisor states, the town acknowledges the importance of full public participation in all meetings and hearings. I ask how the public can fully participate when they don't have the information for the meeting or hearing in a timely manner. We are elected officials whose job is to represent the people of this town. We need to keep open lines of communication. We made great strides with public input for agenda items. Stop the disservices and get the agenda out in a timely manner.
So, does everyone want to defer the town board meeting minute approval for the meeting of August 27th?
Yes.
Okay. Come up at the next meeting.
Question on check number 47614. Mr. Germain, are your bills based off of actual time? There were 7 files and it reached $6,300.
Which, I don't know which bills, I don't know which one you're talking about.
I'll show you, there's information on here I don't really want
Can I
to
take a
let
look?
on. Absolutely.
These are all cert defense cases. We get served in August, that's the time for the filings. We compared answers, bill of particulars, and responses on these 8 cases.
Right.
By the time that you know those, and get copies if you want, you're rounding down to that.
That was the explanation.
Yeah, those are all tax litigation files. We have a lot of them. Unfortunately, it's a sign of the times.
Do you have any other questions?
Also with the, so those checks, check number 1797,
Why don't you go to the invoice number?
the invoice number is 2452. These are drainage and maintenance improvements. I'm just wondering why Richard Hooper would authorize these. Isn't this through highway, not through codes?
No. Highway drainage is completely separate. We have a drainage committee for off-road drainage, and it's chaired by Mr. Richard Hooper. So he would be the appropriate person to finalize those bills.
As well as through further on this, it's there's a summary of services on the second page of this. So it says, before professional services rendered from 7/1 to 2014 through 7/31/2014, it says drainage maintenance and improvements, engineering work request number 1583, appropriation SD 85404040, and just says review of drainage complaints, site visits, assistance with response letters, and construction observation services related to finishing up Glendora and the entire Wooderton Tender Trail project. Then on the next page, the actual billable hours and the rate, there's none of them. It's Bruce Letts has nothing, Douglas Whitman has nothing, and then Willis Shelley. I don't know what days they did work. I have no idea what they did on those days. All I have is hours that they worked and then the rate.
Richard, could you answer that?
I don't know, it's new. I mean, I'm aware of it, I signed it, I review all the drainage group invoices from CNS. It's hours spent for engineering, It's hours spent by Bruce, it's time spent by Doug for site visits, group meetings. Mark's aware, Vern's aware, we all spend a lot of time in the site on drainage. And then we meet the following day for meetings. Doug Wickman from CNS is our drainage person, representative, expert, I'll say. And I think that at least my review of those hours is adequate.
Do you know what they did on what days?
I'd have to look at it, Mike. I don't, I know what he does when he's in for the drainage site visits. I know what he does when he's in for the meetings.
Do you know what he does on every day?
No.
Okay. Next question is on check number 010864. Same thing. There's a summary.
Which is invoice number what?
2552.
For whom? To whom?
This is to CNS companies as well. It's for Cicero Commons, the Loretto project. And that's the same thing. I get the same information. It's a nice summary. But again, on the days, I have no idea what these people did. I just have their hours they worked, then the rate that they get paid, and then the total amount. There's no description of any work that was done.
Well, I think it's pretty hard for anyone, I haven't seen this myself, but I think it's pretty hard for anyone to answer these questions when they don't have this information in front of them.
And that's why
So
they
I
should.
think it's a little bit unfair, not to give anyone notice that you're going to have specific questions about these prior to the meeting so that they could be prepared.
Well, these invoices are supposed to be pretty verbatim. What I did this day, how I worked. It's the same when I go out to work. You can give a nice summary. I do training, I do on-site support, and I do go live. But I tell them every specific thing I do every day. I work 2 hours training with such and such individual. Under that, it's what exactly we did in that training. There's none of that in any of these. I can't approve any of these.
Has there ever been any detail in those bills?
I don't think so.
The answer is no, right? So if we want detail, we need to go back to CNS. You and Vern and Mark all received letters from CNS dated September 2nd, asking from John Trimble, asking for a meeting, referring back to the letter to the whole board, April 24th, 2014, saying if you have concerns to meet with them, and none of us reached out to them. So if we want to make change, then I think we need to go back to CNS and ask for change, more detail in the bills or whatever we would like. But they've been doing those bills like that since I've been here. So if we want change, I think it's fair to ask them to make change. So
I think we have. I believe Councilor Benesky's been doing that for months now, since
Yeah.
April. As well as Councilor, oh my gosh, I'm blowing your name. Councilor Conway, apologize, sorry. And then also, it's not only CNS, it's LaFleur Contractors did
Well,
the same
wait a
thing.
minute, this information has never been conveyed to CNS. Mr. Benesky may have brought up comments, but I don't believe that he has ever.
This is standard
let me say this.
operating
Well,
procedure.
Before the meeting gets out of
It's
hand.
not standard operating procedure.
Okay.
I was employed and, I had codes, and they were general codes about the things that I did, okay? So, I did not have to account minute by minute for all of the tasks that I completed in a particular day. So, I think that you need to be more specific about what it is that you expect. For since 2010, bills haven't been questioned. So if it's a new day, then, we need to communicate that to whomever, whatever vendor, not just CNS, but to whomever. We need to communicate that instead of, trying to have a confrontation in the middle of a public.
It wasn't just for
board meeting.
CNS, it was also LaFleur Contractors.
Well, the floor is part of drainage, and I think it would have been fair to Mr. Hooper, to speak to him ahead of time so that he could have prepared some kind of response.
Well, it's also Mr. Hoover's job to look at these invoices.
Well, Mr. Hooper is looking at the invoices, and I believe he said that he was satisfied, with the bills that were submitted. Now, you have a different opinion apparently, but Mr. Hooper indicated that he was satisfied with the work that was that was indicated on those invoices. That's why he signed it. Now, I haven't seen those, but that's why he signed it.
Mike, let me just add too, the LaFleur bills, we review those quite closely. I question CNS, Doug and Bruce on some hours spent on a recent project, and they verified what was done. I was satisfied with that. As I said, we sit in our meetings, our drainage group meetings, Mark's there, Vern's there. We're well aware of LaFleur and what LaFleur is doing and how many hours LaFleur is spending on a project. So I'm very satisfied. I think the other two gentlemen up there as well are that LaFleur is doing a fine job and we're not being overcharged. So I can only speak to your comments. I don't have it to look at.
Yeah, I would make a suggestion. One of the issues that we had before things, just so that things don't get out of hand, we stay on track. We've had problems with invoices, with not having any detail. They have not been itemized. And we have asked for itemization. However, we haven't received it, or the level of itemization, in some cases, no itemization, and bills have been approved. And in this case, there was some itemization to Mr. Becallo's point, but if it is not comprehensive enough, then I would suggest that we have each department head make that notification to their vendors that the bills, as we all as a board in the last meeting said, that we will not accept or approve an invoice unless it is detailed, and we have a level of detail for that to happen. So I would ask, Madam Supervisor, that you ask the department heads to, in fact, notify their vendors that we need that, and we'll crawl a little bit before we'll walk, but we'll get to it.
That is a good suggestion, but I think that you need to provide the department heads a little bit more feedback about what you're expecting. I mean,
Okay.
the department heads do approve the bills, the invoices
Right.
that are submitted, and I don't think that they ever sign off on them unless they are satisfied. Now, I understand that we have new town board members up here who don't understand the billing process. Some of this stuff is really routine for our department heads. They know what's going on, and you don't. You don't
Mr.
know
Hooper,
what's
were you
going on.
outside watching them work?
Before,
Or CNS?
I would see, and that's when we do all the visits, yes.
All day?
Whenever we visit, yes.
All day?
It's not all day.
Every day?
We only meet once or twice a month, depending on
You've given me
activity.
3 different answers.
What's the question?
So whenever you watch CNS and LaFleur,
I said I do not watch LaFleur.
I've looked at LaFleur's work. I go out in the field and I look. And
every day.
well, I don't look, and obviously
We have
I do go out.
I need to.
I don't want to get into this. These need to be
No,
detailed.
well-
I need to know what exactly they did on the day they did it. And
Well, then
so
why don't you go out and look at it? Why don't you go out and look and see what
you
they're
should be
doing?
going out as you wouldn't
We-
have to.
we-
if these were detailed. I'm not arguing with you. This is standard invoicing. And
You
the
may
nerve
not-
that you have to say that I don't understand what invoicing is about, I take that a little personally. I own my own
You
business.
don't.
I invoice constantly.
You clearly don't understand the town's invoicing system. You clearly do not. We have a contract with CNS, we have a contract with LaFleur. Am I not correct? So having a contract that was approved by these boards, one board or another, we are going on a little bit of trust because there is a contract there. So for you to say, that an employee has to be out there looking over the shoulder of CNS or LaFleur or anyone else is a little bit
You're completely
unrealistic.
missing the point.
No, I'm
The
not
point is,
missing the
if
point.
these are detailed, you wouldn't have to watch over them. You know exactly the work they're doing. The fact that you're not out there, you don't see what they're doing, and they're giving invoices that aren't complete, there's not enough information. The fact that you're saying yes, it's unbelievable that you're approving these. Unbelievable.
Well, they are complete, but apparently you have a difference of opinion. So let's go on. Do you have more questions?
Was that no?
Is there more questions?
Of a resolution to authorize to approve the abstract as presented.
I'll second the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm opposed for the reasons I stated.
The motion carries 4-1.
All right, then I'd like to make a motion to accept the budget modifications as written here, and just accept them instead of reading them all down.
I'll second the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I am opposed. Again, I got this at 4:07. Very difficult for us town board members to get in depth with these and actually look to see what's going on with the money. Again, I have a fiduciary responsibility. And the last two board meetings, I've had to ask for these at, say, 3 p.m. So it's kind of like, but yeah, if these could come out earlier, it'd be much appreciated as well. So.
Thank you.
I'll move for the adoption of a resolution to authorize the supervisor to execute the annual trail license contract 2014 to 2015 between National Grid and the Cicero-Clay Snow Owls.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm opposed. Tracy, let me know for the opening statement I had for the meeting.
What was that?
I said no, and then I said no for the, I'll give it to you, the whole statement we leave. But the statement I said at the beginning about the town board agendas.
For the contract?
No, the town board agendas, I just said no to the annual trail license contract. Yes, I said no. For the statement I made at the beginning of the meeting, and I'll give you that statement.
Thank you.
Mr. Becallo, would you like to present the Parks and Rec?
Well, since I'll be saying no as well, someone else can read that.
Mark, would you like to read the Parks and Rec?
Mike, come on. Interesting, I'm sorry, and I apologize for speaking out of turn. But you are my liaison. You don't have any concern about these items being paid for. The money's there. We've talked about it. Because you're standing on principle about an agenda, don't let my items sit idle or be deferred. You're my spokesperson.
Out of order.
You're my spokesperson.
Out of order.
Mr. George, you are out of order.
I'm a department head. And that is my liaison who's supposed to speak on my behalf.
He speaks for the town.
And the Department of Parks
All
and
right.
Rec.
Mr. George.
Thank you, sir. Would you like to bring the resolution?
Okay, move for the adoption of a resolution to approve the following: $4,300 to Contact Community Services for staffing at canteen through a partnership with Contact Community Services.
And they're doing individual.
You want them individually? Okay, and that's in the form of a motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm opposed for previously stated.
So you're gonna oppose all of these, so we'll just,
Okay. $1,886 to Sweet Woods Memorial Company to replace an engraved marble bench inadvertently damaged by town mowing staff, not covered by insurance. Town's deductible is $2,500.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
One opposed.
An agreement, I make a motion for an agreement between the town of Cicero and Cicero Falcons Pop Warner Incorporated to cover the cost of all electric expenses for field lights at Central Park, reviewed and approved by Robert Germain on 9/3/14. My understanding is there's no expense to the town in that. They're picking up the expense. I read the detail on it. That's in the form of a motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
One opposed.
Okay, and then we have $1,080 to GL Adams Plumbing for additional work on removal of plumbing fixtures not identified until the excavation regarding the fountain removal and capping at Gateway Park. That's in the form of a motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 One. I'll move for the adoption of a resolution to approve the DASNY grant disbursement agreement and authorize the supervisor to sign the agreement. This approval allows the town to seek reimbursement for the Central Park Playground Project grant for $100,000.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. One opposed?
That'd be correct.
Please.
Move for the adoption of a resolution for the following: $4,400 to Syracuse Engine Systems, including electrical and removal of old units, to replace the zoning and planning and code enforcement offices' heating and air conditioning units with a new dustless split AC heating unit. And that is a form of a motion.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
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 And one opposed. Motion?
I make a motion that we purchase 6 copies of Microsoft Office Standard 2013 at $219 or $104, I believe, each, and I will do that tomorrow morning. That's in the form of a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
One opposed?
I'm opposed by the reasons I stated during it.
Make a motion that we purchase 6 copies of Microsoft Office Standard at a cost of $104 each for a total of $624, for a total cost not to exceed $1,314. Does that work, Robert?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I would choose to abstain, it's just a mess.
Motion passes 3, 1 no and 1 abstention. Thank you.
Highway Department. I move for the adoption of a resolution to approve the following: $1,600 to LTS Enterprises for clutch repair on truck number 43. We've had 3 quotes, one from BMAC for $2,500. Stadium International wanted $2,798.42. The clutch is inoperative and it needs to be replaced, and that is in the form of a motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4 to 1.
The second is for Omni Services, and that is special hose fittings, hose and fittings for mower number 7. It's a wear item, $1,759 in the form of a motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4 to 1.
And I'm going to make a motion that, I make a motion that we have a special town board meeting, or 2 special town board meetings, one on the 15th and one on the 22nd at 6:30 p.m. for the purpose of conducting interviews for our ethics panel, and it is our intent to go into executive session.
Second.
Mark, were we able to have minutes taken during those interviews?
Yeah. No? Oh, executives we can't?
You can notes if you want on your own, but there's no official record.
Oh, there's no. Oh, we'll take notes on that, Mike. We can, if that's that's fine. We'll take our own notes. We're gonna have to anyway.
So we have, I'm just sorry, we have how many candidates? Just want to make sure.
We had, I'm sorry?
17 total.
Yeah, 17, and I've heard back from 8 as of this afternoon. They've responded to me. They have both, we probably, right now, I think we have 5 folks on the 22nd who want to be talked to, and the 3 would be on the 15th. And I also let them know that, we appreciate them stepping up to the plate, and that we understand that, that we appreciate their time. So we'll try to move it along. I'm thinking maybe 15 minutes per person. But once I have everybody, once everybody is signed, and I'm also kind of setting it up, just so you know, so in the order of those who responded to me. So I'm trying to make it fair, and we'll give everybody 15 minutes. And I also asked them for their voter registrations, because we have to have we're bound to have an equal number of Democrats, Republicans, Independents, et cetera. So.
Mark, as well, what if they can't make those dates?
Well, if they can't make the dates, I mean, we're giving them the flexibility of making 2 different dates, then they're out. I mean, we have more than enough candidates for the positions that are available.
We had a motion.
I seconded it, yeah.
Yeah, we have a motion on the floor with second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's-